Very helpful.
Yeah, very helpful. So CNB is based in Miami, right? And since inception, you've grown up here as a business. You've grown within the community, and now you're the second largest bank in Florida, 26 billion in assets. Now, I first moved to Miami in 2006, and the growth in this area has been spectacular, and I think none more so than the finance industry. I mean, now we have students that used to go straight to New York for jobs in finance. Now they're all looking to stay down here. They want to be local. There's opportunities for them locally. So I was wondering if you could talk about and give us your perspective on the development of the finance industry, specifically within South Florida, and how CNB has kind of grown with that and is connected to the community.
I've been here a long time, and I've seen, every cycle, every phase of Miami's, growth over the last 60 years. And Andre and I talk about this, and he just got here basically, so we're still qualifying him as a citizen. He hasn't necessarily met all the requirements yet. But I am super excited. I think the next 10 years of Miami are going to dwarf the last 20. I think there's so many things. People tend to think that this all happened post-COVID, and people forget that the momentum and the inertia of the city of Miami pre-COVID was already going in that direction. Yeah, COVID did, the pandemic did accelerate it, but it wasn't but the foundation was already there for that to happen, right? So the global visibility of this marketplace is just phenomenal. No matter where you go in the world, people want to talk about South Florida. I was talking to somebody that was, I won't tell you who it is, but somebody had a very important political job in a different country. And when they got there, they said that there was 100, 200 people that wanted to meet with him. And there was, it took him 6 months. And he thought that everybody wanted to talk about, trade between the two countries, wanted to talk about, regulation, wanted to talk about politics, and they wanted to talk about Miami because he was from Miami. That was and how to do business in Miami. Yeah. So these are people from all over Europe that were really interested in how to do business in Miami. They didn't really care about the more global geopolitical part of his job. So Miami is at that place. I mean, relative to, cultural, healthcare, it's no longer just a place for tourism. People really want to be here. And the amount of domestic capital that we have seen flow to this marketplace is amazing. Because for the most part, it used to be Latin American capital that flew in and then got pulled out, flew in, got pulled out. And now what you've seen is actually the Latin American capital has been dwarfed by how much money has been coming in domestically. And it's not transient money. It's money that wants to be here and has a much longer term view. So I think now it doesn't mean, I think the boom bust cycle of Florida and South Florida is a thing of the past. We're still going to have cycles, right? We're still going to have things that go bump in the night. But I don't think it's going to be as volatile as what we've seen over the last 30, 40, 50 years, just because the foundation of this economy is vastly different than it ever has been, and we're on everybody's radar. As far as the financial industry, what we're seeing is a lot of private equity money, a lot of hedge fund money, money and people moving to South Florida. And our job is to make sure they stay here, right? Our job is to make sure they stay here because it's redefining the economic infrastructure of this city. And we need that to be able to continue to build our future and the growth trajectory of our community. But we've seen so much investment from very astute investors with little leverage. That's another thing that's always been a very important kind of weak point for this economy is there's always been a lot of leverage. And what we're seeing these days is just a lot of capital, a lot of equity that's going into the economy and the marketplace and transactions, which just gives you a more safe and sound infrastructure to be able to build on. So I think between, as far as the global visibility, the industries that are doubling and tripling down in terms of healthcare, technology, financial services, it's just redefining the entire economic landscape of South Florida. And I feel good about the future. Now, there's some things we have to work on. We know that, right? We have to work on, affordability. We have to work on transportation. We have to work on education. But any city in the country, in all honesty, that has experienced the growth and the success that we have, probably have to work on the same things, right? We're not unique. This is not a problem specific to South Florida. These are issues and challenges that come as a byproduct of success. And you just have to navigate them, and we have to work collectively as a community to make that happen. And I think we have, good leadership, and we have people who have been here a long time, and we have new people who have arrived to this community who want to see this community continue to succeed. So we have to work together along with the public sector to make that happen. And I think we're pushing in the right direction.